This is Delhi, usually a bustling and vibrant city which has been my home for more than a decade. But I can hardly recognize it now. Just look at the lines of ambulances. It's the scene so common outside any hospital you go. It has the look of a city under siege. Anyone you speak to has lost a family member or a friend to COVID or knows somebody who has. We are all helpless. I'm really sorry. We can only just bring the stories. We'll go and check it out. Okay. And it's just not Delhi. Several Indian towns, cities and villages are witnessing similar scenes. It seems the city's very existence is now limited to 4 places: hospitals, medicine stores, oxygen refilling stations and crematoriums. We are going to go to 4 such places in the city today, but our very first stop is GTB Hospital in Delhi. Families here are constantly bringing in patients, and it shows the wave is not slowing down in Delhi. Some of them are able to get a bed, but the most sick ones, they have to be taken to from one hospital to another because the city ran out of ICU beds at least 2 weeks ago. And the scene inside such hospitals are even more heartbreaking.
उधर गाजियाबाद के साइड में सारे हॉस्पिटल में गया, उसकी सीने भर्ती ने सब लोगों ने कहा ऑक्सीजन खत्म हो गया। फिर यहाँ पर जो राजीव गांधी में आया, वहाँ पर गेट पर से ही भगा दिया, कहीं नहीं देंगे। यहाँ पर आया तो यहाँ पर केवल कोरोना टेस्ट हुआ था, उसके बाद जो है दवा तक भी नहीं लिखा उन्हें। कई कितनी बार बोला कि दवा वहाँ से यहाँ, यहाँ से वहाँ, कम से कम 2 घंटे तक घुमाता रहा यहाँ पर।
सारे मरे पड़े।
The visuals you are seeing are from a hospital in Gurugram. It ran out of oxygen and the hospital staff abandoned the patient. At least 6 patients died, devastating the families.
बस बस
The second wave has touched everyone. Most people are spending their days trying to find a hospital bed, an oxygen cylinder, medicines, and even a slot at a crematorium. Sometimes the search is for a loved one or a family member, but often for people you have never even met. Social media platforms are flooded with SOS messages from people looking for a bed or medicine, and it just shows the devastation COVID is causing. And it also shows how underprepared the country's healthcare infrastructure was to deal with the surge. Sometimes you are able to help people, but often you are not. So many people have stories of sheer helplessness, of not being able to find a bed for a sick person, and then later learning about his or her death. I too have a similar story when I couldn't find a ventilator bed for a loved one, and he died. Our second stop is an oxygen refilling station. When families can't find a hospital bed, they look to procure one such oxygen cylinder to help their patients keep breathing. But even getting one cylinder is a difficult task. So many people here have been standing for 5 to 6 hours to get a cylinder, but there's no guarantee that they will get one.
ये तो सर मना कर रहे हैं कि ना अपने घर जाओ, जो मरीज मरता है आपका मरने दो, इन लोगों को कोई लेना देना नहीं है क्योंकि इन लोगों के घर में कोई नहीं है।
भैया रेमडेसिविर मिल जाएगी क्या? रेमडेसिविर? So we are now outside one of the busiest medicine markets in Delhi. Medicines like remdesivir and tocilizumab are not available here. When families get tired of going from one shop to the other, they turn to the black market where they have to pay exorbitant amount for these drugs, and it's causing a lot of financial distress to families who cannot afford such high prices. Our final stop is this crematorium in Delhi. This one and so many others saw long queues in the past 2-3 weeks. I remember a friend sending me a text and asking if I had a contact in a crematorium because he could not get his aunt cremated who had died of COVID. It was the most heartbreaking text I have ever received. Another friend told me that his father was cremated along with 20 other bodies, and he just did not know which pyre to look at to say his final goodbye. As he put it, there was no dignity even after death.
यहाँ पे लगा लीजिए कि जिंदा तो छोड़िए कि लेकिन मरने के बाद भी लोग यहाँ पर सही से मतलब उनकी विचारों की क्रिया भी सही से नहीं हो पा रही है, क्योंकि क्या करें, पंडित भी हमें 4-5 लोग हैं, वो कितना संभालेंगे सबको। और आप देख ही रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे डेड बॉडी इतने लगाने के बाद में भी अभी वेटिंग में भी है और एम्बुलेंसों के अंदर भरी रखी है।
Such devastation has raised so many questions, and the most important one is why more was not done to manage this surge? Why even after 2 weeks people are still struggling to find the bed, medicines and oxygen? For my friend and many like him, it will take a long time before they can call Delhi their home again, and the scars this wave has left may never heal.